Good morning. It's Sunday, February 14th, 2021. Episode of Derek's Weekly Crypto Update. It's a big week, guys. We had a lot of movement this past week. I just want to jump right into it because it is huge. If we look up here, Bitcoin's up 20.8% to $47,415.78. ZCASH as of midnight was 171.08, up 87.14% on the week. It's happening. I mean, it's we're finally getting into the season. Everything seems to be moving up. We're in a good time of year. I just want to go over a couple quick things this week, including the Zcash to Bitcoin chart, our regular charts. Let's look at the coin market cap, the total crypto market cap, because that's moving. Everything seems to be moving up. It's been a very good week for crypto, whether you're in Bitcoin, any of the alts, any of the DEXs. DEXs are making huge moves. Everything's really moving up, and we're just going to dive right into it right now. All right, guys, looking over at our Zcash to Bitcoin chart, this is one that's really moving this week. If we look at it, we had a channel that was going back here. It started right in the beginning of beginning of August, and it's continued all the way through February. But if you look over here, I made a little bit of a post on it on my Facebook page, Derek's WCU. It's facebook.com/Derek's WCU. It's weekly crypto update. But I made a post on there as I saw this coming up to the top of this, and I made a post saying it was approaching it and to keep an eye out if it did break out, because we'd be looking at a big movement. And we did. We saw it moving all the way up to the 0.004 parity. So that's, we had a big move. Now we're all the way down to 0.0032. 327. So that's something we're having a little bit of a pullback after the biggest breakout we've had. It's really moved us outside this channel. I'm going to be interested to see if we're going to come down and touch this, and this is going to act as support now, because it was resistance for such a long period of time. Originally it was back in August, then it came down in October. We recently tried to come up in January, and now in now in February, we just came up to it for the first time. So this is something I'm going to keep an eye on going forward. But if you look at it on the daily, it looks like our momentum's going up. It looks like we're going to continue this little push up. And if you look at our, the momentum going from the downside is it's going less and less each time. Ideally, this is what you want to see. You want to see a line forming where it's going to come up, and that's going to push us into a big breakout. The last time we really had a big breakout was, I don't think we've ever had as big a one as we had right now. Right here, as we see, the momentum's getting less and less, and then it pushes it up to a bigger one. These are increasing in size. That's something I always look forward. I look to when I see these smaller, bigger. I'm expecting this one to be even bigger than this one right here, as these were decreasing and the positive momentum's increasing. If you look at it on the bigger picture, we're at the floor. Ideally, we're at the floor. Zcash is versus Bitcoin. After Zcash just went through its first halvening, the inflation cycle on that's going to decrease, and that's something I'm going to be looking at as well. Because if I can see the price action increasing, I think this is really going to show us that this was the floor for the Zcash to Bitcoin parity, and I think we're going to go back up and look at this 0.02 level that we haven't seen since 2019. So this is something I'm going to keep an eye on for Zcash, and let's head on over to our other charts. All right, looking over at our 4-hour Bitcoin chart. Right now, we're in a period where we're in a channel that's moving like this right now. This is the current channel we're riding in. Looks like we're moving up a little bit, and if you look here, it looks like we're having higher highs as well. So we're in an ascending channel, it looks like. It might even be an ascending flag, but I think if we go here, we can bring this out. I think we're in this channel, we're riding the top parts of it. If you look at it, it's touched here three times now. It's touched the top multiple times. It's gone through once. That's ideally, this is a smaller channel, but on a 4-hour chart, ideally I want a further out pattern to express what it looks like. Right now, I think that this is, we need a little bit more to even put, I really think we even need a little bit more to put this in there to chart this. So I'm not even going to, let's go back here. I'm not even going to keep these on here. I'm going to wait until a little bit later on in the week, and I'm going to post a little bit of an update on my page on Facebook, just to give everyone an idea of what I think it's currently doing. Because right now, as we've seen, this is a big breakout right here. We broke out of this longer term channel, this half month channel. sorry, it was a triangle, and then we came in here and we were riding in here for about a week and a half, and then we just broke out. I think we're currently in the middle of a breakout phase. If you look at our momentum, it looks like it's undecided right now, but the downward momentum was getting smaller and smaller, and that's our upward momentum was getting bigger and bigger. And look what happened. We had a breakout as that was happening. As this was getting smaller, it came down, reversed, and pushed up. So this is something I'm going to look at as well, especially since we are riding the top part of this Bollinger Band, and they're squeezing really hard now. So if we can squeeze this here, I mean, ideally, I'm going to be looking out tomorrow morning, later tonight. This is going to be something I'm looking for, because this comes over here, and once we start and the squeeze is off here, I'm going to be looking to see what side the momentum is breaking towards. If it's breaking to the downside, then I'm going to move it, you know, I'm going to make a little, I'm going to just post a warning saying, hey, it might move to the downside. If it looks like it's going to continue this trend that we've been in, I'm going to, you know, I'll just make a post saying, hey, it looks like we're moving to the upside. But keep an eye on that, and keep an eye on the Facebook page, because that's, you know, I'm going to be following this throughout the day just to see what kind of movement we're doing and if we're still riding this top part of the Bollinger Band or not. All right, and if we take a look at our ZCASH to US dollar chart, right now, currently still, it's in breakout mode. This is something still I can't really chart. I'm going to wait to see what kind of an extended pattern we're doing, because right now the momentum got less and less. We pushed up, and we're still in breakout mode. Looks like we're in a little bit of a retracement. We do these. It's done it multiple times. It looks like it does a little retracement and kicks off again. Does a little retracement, kicks off again. I'm expecting another 12-hour, 16-hour retracement, and I'm going to expect us to use, you know, one of these points. It's come down each time to the middle of the last blast off point and then jumped off again. We came all the way down to $152, it looks like, this past 4-hour mark, and we're already at 161. So I think that's going to use that as a bounce, and it's going to try to keep this upward momentum. Zcash versus the Bitcoin parity, like I've said, is at it was at its all-time low, and I think Zcash is going to come back versus Bitcoin. Once people realize that Bitcoin, it's good, but they're going to be looking for alternatives. I know a lot of people are asking me personally, hey, Bitcoin, it seems almost unsustainable. You know, I can't get into it and I won't see any real gains. So they're looking for other alternatives to put it in. I can tell you that, you know, if you count the number of Satoshis and what the Bitcoin versus Satoshi is worth, that's going to, you know, it's just a smaller figure. Bitcoin can be broken up infinitely. So your value is going to increase as Bitcoin increases. And I think that's the most stable source of income, you know, the increases. If I'm looking to put a lot of, you know, a big chunk of money in, the majority of it's going into Bitcoin for me. It's going to be a long-term hold. It's going to be something I don't touch. It's going to be, you know, I'm looking for the future. I just want to jump over really quick over to our CoinGecko, because this is a big thing as well. Tying in two little segments in one, because if we look at it, everything is up. If you look at the weekly, everything's up 50%, 50%. Can you find a non-gainer? Maker. Okay, Maker's the first one that's not a big gainer. UMA. But everything else in the top 100, except for a few other ones, Paxos Standard, which is, you know, always going to be $1. Everything else is going to be up. Everything's up. Ampleforth is finally down a little bit. It just went on a huge run, though. I think Ampleforth, if you look at the 14-day, if you look at the year, it's up 22,250%. So, I mean, ideally, if you look at the 1 year, we're down from, this is ridiculous. We're under a penny here. I think we're under a penny here. 52 cents. Wait, that doesn't make sense. There we go. No, so that's not really correct. Because I know if you held it for a while, yeah, it was 35 cents. This year is not correct. Oh, the market cap is up. I'm sorry. They must have issued a ton of them, and that's why the price is falling a little bit. But yeah, the market cap is up 22,250%. The price is down 6.3%. So Ampleforth is one of them that was down, but it did just go through a big gainer and it hit almost $2. So I mean, if you timed it and you got out of it, it's good. But Ampleforth's literally the only one that's down like that high of a percentage. If we look at all the big ones up here, Polkadot's up to 27.12, Chainlink's up to 33.43. Less than a year ago, that was under $5. All our DEX coins are up. Uniswap is up. Where is the? It's right down here. I was looking at, and I had a lot of people bring up 0x. I mean, that's up to a $1.72. If we look at the 3 month on that, the 180, oh, only that doesn't do it on this one. But yeah, but if we do the 180 day and we make sure we're looking at price, we're looking at a start of 56 and that's 173. It's up 300%. So all these coins are really moving. If we look at the big ones that we're in, like ZCASH up 160, it's still in the top 50, so it's maintaining its position. Ideally, we're going to see this take a big move once it starts. I mean, once the Dogecoin holders start realizing that that's just a depreciating asset, it's not really worth more and more. It's worth less and less because they're going to keep printing them, and there's already 100 billion of them in existence. It's just not something that can, it can't sustain that price. I think that once the Dogecoin holders really realize, hey, I'm not doing anything with this, they're going to be looking for coins that have utility and utilization. And that's why I think Zcash is primed for growth. I think a lot of these other ones too are going to be, you're going to be looking, Neo, if you look at Neo, that was under $5 a piece less than a year ago. It's already up to 44.22. The graph is 146% mover. There's a lot of these coins that, like, the graph is, I'm pretty sure the graph's something like, I wanted to say something like Chainlink, but I'm not 100%. Yeah, so yeah, App and Dap can submit queries to the Graph network, and then they get paid in Graph tokens. So, yep, it's including data for, exactly. So they search the network, earn rewards for providing data. So this is pretty similar to how Chainlink works and how Chainlink works with the, oracles. This is something I'm going to look into, like the graphs, anything that has utility for reasons it's for its use. The graph provides up-to-date price info for these other coins. I mean, these are things you want to look into. It's not these Doge coins where they're hype coins. They have no utility. I can't stress that enough. I know I'm repeating this over and over again, but just remember that when you look into it. One last thing I want to look at is our crypto market cap. Let's look at it on the 90-day level, because we were 90 days ago at $465,000 billion. Right now, we're at 1.53. We've gone up. Again, I think 3 to 5 trillion for this cycle is very feasible. I could see us hitting 3 trillion in the next 2 to 3 months, maybe even, or at the latest by June, but I think it's going to happen. If we look at it, it's only going to start exponentially growing once more and more people, spread word of mouth and, start investing in it and putting their coins in it. Look at the way Robinhood's worked recently, and you see more and more retail investors making money on it. More and more people are getting involved in stocks at younger and younger in their lives with apps like Robinhood where it's zero-fee trading. So that's just something to keep an eye on as well. But if we look at, we have some big gainers here. We have, I just can't believe some of these ones. But mind you, a lot of these ones are going to be those pump and dumps that you're going to watch out for. So only make sure, like my big stressor for this is make sure that you're looking at the top 100 coins, top 200 coins, and finding something that you see that, could have utility in the future. That's so big, and that's something I always cannot stress enough. And on that note, I think I just wanted to bring up 2 or 3 quick articles, and then I'm done for the day. So take care on this part, and let's go over to an article. Instead of going over a few articles, I just think that, you guys going to Coindesk.com, just checking out a few of these is going to be extremely, it's just crazy what's going on right now. Deutsche Bank quietly plans to offer crypto custody and prime brokerage. Bitcoin sets new all-time high of $49,700. It did that overnight last night. I take the 12 o'clock time, so that's why I didn't have the most up-to-date time, but it's midnight of Saturday turning into Sunday. So that's why I have my time a little bit different. Morgan Stanley considers Bitcoin investment. That's from Bloomberg. Look, this is just extremely bullish. There's nothing that's going on in this world that's quiet right now. Everything's extremely loud. Everything's blowing up. It's just nuts. I mean, Ethereum's 1,800. This is pretty crazy. If we look at the Morgan Stanley one, because that was one I was reading a little bit about. So they already own like 11% in MicroStrategy, but they're still looking to add investment arm onto their, for their investors. It's just, this is some of the most bullish news we've had in Bitcoin ever. Like, I remember back 4 years ago when we used to get a piece of news about, hey, this one company's just like, PayPal was looking into Bitcoin back 4 years ago to see, they were exploring to see if it had any utilization for Bitcoin. And at the time they didn't, but just that spike of news would send it up, or everyone declaring Bitcoin dead would kill it, or China's banned Bitcoin, India's banned Bitcoin, they all took it back. It all plummets and tanks, increases the price. But we've never had institutional news like this, where you have Morgan Stanley, you have ARK Investments, who's purchasing a large share in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. You have all these, a Canadian ETF, I think, was approved this past week. And that's something you're going to look at, and it just adds more and more capital able to be added to this investment, where Bitcoin already has a $900 billion market cap. It's now getting to be 8% of gold. I mean, ideally, we might see that jump up to 20, 30% in the next 5 years. I could see it easily having a $10 trillion market cap. I think that's it's so much easier to transact in and trade than gold is. How do you transact $100 billion in gold? And then you have to go and transport that. That's the thing. Like, people just don't realize it's a digital asset. It's something you don't need to have physically. It's not, it's not necessary, and it's easier to transact in that way, especially in a digital world. Guys, take a look at CoinDesk. It's just really, go there. I keep up on news on my CoinDesk right now. I think it's just so huge right now, just to make sure you're aware. Make sure, it's something to keep an eye on. I know I say something to keep an eye on all the time, but this is, always make sure you're aware, because everything could flip like this. We're at a point in this cycle where everything is very hype. Everyone's getting hyped about everything. Everyone's making all this money. Always make sure you have an exit strategy as well. You're not going to be able to sustain 150% gains month over month for more than a few more months. It's ideally, we're going to have an exit strategy. We're going to try to take some profit. We're going to make sure we don't get out of this cycle with what we've originally had. We want to have a little bit more capital in US dollars to accumulate more coins when they do fall, because like all assets, it's like Bitcoin's happened twice before. We've had these cycles where it goes up and down. Just make sure you're primed for when it does go down to accumulate more, and you're not stuck with holding stuff that it costs you more to purchase than you can sell it for. But as that's it, it's time, guys. Thank you for tuning in, Bitcoin. I hope you guys had a great week. If you have any questions, anything, I really hope you guys ask it. I'm really shooting in the wind here. It's really going. It's a crazy time that we're in it. I remember I was talking to my uncle yesterday, and as I was talking with him about ZCASH, it went from $170 to $121, and then fell to $180. All within a 5-minute time frame. So it's a crazy time for everyone. Just make sure you don't sell too early. You don't sell too early. You don't sell too late, and you have a good exit strategy for this bubble, because it is a bubble, guys. I've been part of it 2 times before, and it still seems like a bubble. This growth cannot be sustained unless we have more institutions doing what PayPal, MicroStrategy, Square have done, where they start putting their money into it. One of the things, actually, you know what? Before I let you guys go, one of the things I wanted to bring up yesterday was one of my ideas. I had ZCASH go from that 170 to 121 on Coinbase. I had my uncle watching it on his Gemini, and it only went to 183. I know that Coinbase is linked to a lot of institutional buyers, and Grayscale is, I'm not sure if there's as much OTC Zcash as there is Bitcoin. I know Bitcoin people are still able to buy at OTC and not affect the markets that much. But if Coinbase is where a lot of these big institutions are buying through, then this is something I'm going to be watching, because Zcash might be being accumulated by these institutions just like Bitcoin is. Make sure you keep an eye on Zcash, and you make the Zcash trust that Grayscale owns, because my thoughts are, we're going to see an increase that happened over this weekend, and Grayscale might be behind that big rise to 121. So just keep an eye on what Grayscale does. They're a public company. They have to withhold or they have to disclose how much they hold of each of their trusts. So just keep an eye to see if they did purchase a large amount of Zcash this past weekend. But this has been Derek's Weekly Crypto Update, and I hope you guys have a great week. Take care.